Now let's continue with the concept of Aristotle. Aristotle assumes that any activity, practical or theoretical, aims towards some end or good. For example, health for the practice of medicine and many others. However, these ends are still provisional goals to another goal. If, for instance, the practice of medicine aims to promote and maintain health in society, can we not ask further why we want to be healthy? Does one seek health for its own sake, or does one seek it perhaps because one would like to be able to fulfill one's duties as a parent, well, because he wants to raise good children? And just like our response to the pandemic, okay, the authorities or the IFTA have laid down some protocols, reminders, and guidelines on how to respond to this pandemic. Like, for example, the wearing of the mask wherever you go out, and the observance of social distancing whenever we are outside. So these protocols, for example, are being followed, not because we want to keep ourselves safe from any danger or risk of the virus, but we don't want also others to be affected or infected, because of us, especially our family members. So here, the good or end of such act does not only pertain to the self-fulfillment, but of course, considering also others. Aristotle is not simply interested in finding out the different ends or purposes for human life. He wants to find out what our chief end is. He is interested in finding out what all our lives essentially and ultimately aim to. The chief good for the human person must not be something one aims at for the sake of something else. It cannot be wealth, for wealth is merely a means for possessing things such as houses or cars. Neither can it be fame nor honor, for they are just instruments for feeding one's ego, then becomes a servant of pride. Aristotle names the chief good for the human person as happiness, or called eudaimonia. For him, happiness is the self-sufficient, final, and attainable goal for human life. It is self-sufficient because to have it makes human complete. It is final because it is desired for itself and not for the sake of something else. And it is attainable because it is not theoretical construct, but something that one actually does practically. Aristotle claims that all the things that are ends in themselves also contribute to a wider end, an end that is the greatest good of all. Let's continue with our eudaimonia. So you can see here 3 pictures, of course, below the man, we have the money, and then a house, and then an expensive car. Basically, these are what make, of course, most people happy, and I too. I won't be hypocrite if I say I don't like these things or the idea, or I'm not happy to have those. Of course, money, that's very essential, especially now. A comfortable house, of course, and an expensive car. But these are fleeting or temporary. They may be gone. They may be stolen. They may be lost. So the happiness that this material possession brings to us, is temporary. It's fleeting. All other ends, such as wealth, power, possessions, status, are sought because they perceive to be instrumental in one's flourishing. Eudaimonia, as the proper end of man, is not some kind of inactive state, but is actually something that one does. He claimed that our chief good is not the chief good, or is not something that we merely possess, but something that we continually actualize or practice. According to him, Aristotle again, Eudaimonia is an activity of the soul in accordance with virtue. And in addition, the chief good is not achieved by one grand act or one big decision, for it is something one constantly strives for. One day or short time does not make someone blessed and happy either. Happiness is something that we decide to do for ourselves. These external goods contribute to the attainment of one's happiness, but they do not guarantee it. Hence, some people are rich but seemingly unfulfilled in their lives, uncontented in their lives. Others have good friends but have not cultivated their friendships enough to have one's friends hold a positive impact to one's life. Therefore, happiness, to Aristotle, is not mere self-indulgence or just simple pleasure seeking. It denotes an activity that essentially corresponds to the proper nature of the human being.